Okay, I hope this is recording. Um, so anyways, what I got here is I got another unboxing of flint knapping materials, and these are from Bushy, from New York's upstate New York. So let's get into it and see what Mr. Bushy, or also known as Phroto-Joe, sent me. And I covered up the addresses and that. You can't really see. This is my address here. So this is some stuff that Bushy sent me, and let's take a look. I was always interested and curious. I seen a video that Patrick made a while ago about napping Perky Omen point out of Esopus shirt. And Bushy lives near where the Esopus shirt comes from, and he put these leather pads in here. I'm not sure what these are for. I'm thinking that it's probably because this stuff is such tough man rock that you're going to have to, when you do indirect percussion, you're going to have to hold it under the leather like that to protect your hand. A little bit of cushioning, because this stuff, from what I understand, is pretty tough material. But this is a box of Esopus shirt, actually. Because I recognize some of this stuff, some of it I don't recognize. So let's get some of this out. So this all black stuff right here, this is Esopus shirt. It's found in New York State, upstate New York, and it is associated with the Onondaga limestone that forms cap rock at Niagara Falls. And then there's like a shale underneath. I think it's a shale or a dolomite. It's a softer rock underneath the cap rock at Niagara Falls. So this Esopus chert, I believe, comes from that shale layer underneath Niagara Falls. So the Onondaga limestone, which also holds the Onondaga chert that a lot of people try to nap and use, that's above this layer. So this is, I believe, a lower layer, and this is a silt that has been silicified, is what Esopus chert is. And I think it doesn't, I haven't napped it yet, so I don't know if it has a petroleum smell to it, like a burnt oil smell. I know the other material that's from the same area does have a petroleum smell, and that would be the Onondaga chert. But this is Esopus chert. This piece here might, hard to say on that one. We're going to put that one aside for a minute. But this is all Esopus chert. It's a black, kind of a grainy looking material. I'm not sure how easy it naps. It does have a ring to it, so it does sound pretty good. But yeah, so he sent me this box, and this is all pretty much Esopus chert. And it'll be interesting. I want to try and make something for Bushy that's a point that's commonly found in New York State or even in Michigan. I know a lot of little bifurcates are made from this stuff. The Perky Omen points are made out of this stuff. I found a Susquehanna broad point on my Christmas tree farm back as a kid, and it was made out of a very dark material. It could very well have been Kashotkin black, or it was this stuff. Might have been Kashotkin black, because it was a lot shinier than this stuff. This does have a little bit of a shine, as you can see, but it's pretty grainy. But yeah, it'll be interesting to smack some rocks of this and see what I can come up with. But yeah, he gave me some nice spalls. And like I said, it's going to be a challenge probably trying to work this. I'm going to wait a little bit before I start whacking on this. This could be Esopus also. It's comes in a kind of a green color too, and mostly a black. Green, kind of a light green, little bit of banding sometimes in it, and it's mostly black, and then sometimes you'll find some brown. That's why I'm thinking that this might be some of the brown variety of the Esopus. Either that, or this could very well be a piece of Onondaga. It kind of has that Onondaga look to it, and it's got a little bit of the limestone attached in it. So I'm not sure. We'll discuss that one in a minute. And then he gave me this this preform or biface of Esopus chert. So it'll be interesting to see if I don't break this and I can make it into a knife. Some of the other stuff I might even try to make another point that's common in anywhere, pretty much all over the eastern United States, the Great Lakes region. There's a point called the a Lamoka, and if this stuff flakes kind of rough and I can't get it real nice and thin, Lamoka points are a cool point because they're kind of thick. They're kind of crude looking. They're probably, if I recall from what I've read on Lamoka points, they're from like the middle to late Archaic period. So they're not as refined as like your early Archaic points. You see like the little fox valleys and the little bifurcated points and the little corner notched points and little side notch points. It seems like some of the Lamoka stuff is it's thicker and cruder, and I think it's probably because of some of the material they had to use. They were more sedentary in the middle to late Archaic period. You know, they were starting to get into a little bit of agriculture, not to the degree that the woodland culture was doing, but they did work with whatever they had available at the time. So this is all the Esopus chert. Hello, I'm recording. Now this material that Bushy gave me is I know what this is. I recognize this stuff quite clearly, and I'll have to do a video on it. But this is Onondaga chert, and Onondaga is usually characterized by these little dark spots in there, light areas and dark areas, little dark spots in there. Like I call them bird's eyes. And Onondaga typically has this. Almost every point that I find, if you look at them closely, you'll see those little dark, like a little dark spot here and there, and they're usually gray to brown. So this is Onondaga chert, and I know this stuff is really tough, tough to work, but it can be done. So anyways, just a little video. Wanted to do a little unboxing of some of the material that Bushy had sent me, and I've got to come up with some material to maybe send him in trade or send him some points made out of some of this stuff and some of the other stuff that I make, some of the other materials I got. But like I said, I'll have to do like a video on all the materials that I've been getting lately. Ordered 3-pound boxes from Danny Collins of different material spalls. I did a 3-pound box of Texas root beer, 3-pound box of heated Texas Belton chert, and a 3-pound box of heat treated Texas Pendernalis chert to try. I didn't know about the Georgetown. I could have ordered some of that, but I've heard stories about Georgetown being either really, really good or really, really bad. So anyhow, Phroto-Joe, Bushy, huge thank you for the material, and like I said, I'm gonna send you some stuff as I get something made or whatever. And if you like fishing, I probably can make you some of those crappie jigs I've been working on. I gotta make a bunch for gotta make some for Marty, Jim Main, Danny Collins, Sal. I mean, I got pretty much a lot of people I gotta make crappie jigs for, so I gotta get going on that, painting those up. So anyways, that's that video. I'm going to check and see if this is still running and rocking and rolling. And we got 9 minutes. Okay, so I got time to do another unboxing. This one's not as related to flint knapping, but this came from a gentleman I met at on a live stream, and he's got a channel on YouTube called Automagic Fishing. He's from Corvallis, Oregon, and he had a giveaway a week or two ago, and I happened to win the giveaway. And so we're going to check this out. This is going to be fishing related. And he sent me a lot of really cool stuff here. Man, I really like his channel. He sent me some of these stickers. These are stickers from Oregon. Hitch by Hitch and Mazamama Sporting Goods. So these stickers will go on my toolbox out in the garage. My big giant rolling around standing upright toolbox. I'm going to put those on there. And then he sent me some Automagic fishing stickers also. This is his channel. This is what his avatar looks like on his channel. So little props up for him. And the other thing that he sent me was a fresh yeah, I can get this out of here. And get it out of here carefully, but this he kind of threw in as a bonus prize in the giveaway, and it's a brand new crisp $2 bill, never been circulated from the bank. So he sent me that also, which is very nice. Because I do collect coins, and I do collect old coins, silver certificates, and things like that. So that will be cool. I'll put that in with my collection of that. But the main gift, besides the stickers and that I won from the giveaway, was a collection in this little tackle box of steelhead and salmon fishing lures. So he sent me a gold bodied single hook steelhead and salmon spinner. That's very cool. And we got an assortment of different size steelhead jigs. Some of these are really wild looking. I mean, look at that reds and whites and black in there, and then this all black one. I'm gonna hopefully Alan Cole watches this video, because he does a lot of West Coast steelhead and salmon fishing, so he would probably be able to tell me if these, how these things are, and the colors, if they're good, and if they catch fish. But that looks like a glow-in-the-dark head there. It's a lot of purple in it. But yeah, we catch steelhead the same way using these same kind of jigs in Michigan. So this is a win-win to be able to have some steelhead fishing lures, for fishing up here in Michigan. Our steelhead behave kind of the same way as their steelhead do. And looks like he's got a rabbit strip that he puts on some of these jigs, or how he gets these or buys these. So when I go, I might try to make some of these steelhead jigs. Actually, they look pretty simple and easy to make. And just a little marabou spun around, hackled on with a rabbit strip. So they're pretty easy to do. So we got these jigs. He put this spinner blade in. I'm not sure what that's for, if it's interchangeable with that, but let's put these all back in this case so we can look at the other stuff on the other side. And this is all relevant stuff for steelhead fishing in the Great Lakes, as well as the West Coast, where this sort of method of fishing, I think, started. I think it either started in the West Coast, or it might have started in Canada, because they do how they fish these. They fish them under a float or a bobber. I don't want to like saying the bobber, because a bobber is like the old ugly red and white round plastic bobber. These are elegant floats that suspend this in the water column as it's floating. And when you see the bobber go under or stop moving in the current, you probably got a fish that's picked it up. So very cool little giveaway box. So moving around, we flip over to the other side, and this has got some hooks and some snap swivels in there. But what it also has is it has some of these rubber salmon eggs that they love to use for steelhead. And a lot of these are translucent. If you actually look through them, they glow really nice. But these are solid rubber baits that are supposed to look like salmon eggs. because salmon and steelhead, they have this craving for eating eggs. It's kind of a thing that they eat them because they remember eating them when they were young as a baby fish, and they also eat other fish's eggs, so that it takes that competition out of the gene pool. You know, it's kind of like ensuring that your DNA passes on to the next generation of fish, steelhead or salmon. This is actually a bead. They do a lot of this kind of fishing out west, and they do a lot of it here in Michigan too. This is just a plastic bead colored to look like a salmon egg, and you feed your line through this, and you take one of them little round toothpicks, and you stick it in there and snap it off and break it, so you hold it in place. And then you use a hook, an egg hook. This might be a little too big, but what you do is you tie the hook on, you thread this bead on, this bead that looks like a steelhead or salmon egg, and then you peg it so far. Usually about this far apart, I think, is what they do. Because what happens, the fish doesn't pay attention to this hook, but what they'll do is they'll come in, they'll swim in and grab the egg, and this hook is just out on the side. So what happens when the fisherman realizes that a fish has grabbed that beaded egg hook, or that egg bead, they set the hook, this slides in, and it catches the fish right in the corner of the mouth. So it's a very humane way to catch salmon and steelhead and release them easily, because it's hooked in a good solid place in the corner of their mouth, and it's easy to pop it out. It does less damage to them than if I had this bead, attached to a hooker right there. They might swallow the whole thing and get it down their throat, and in that case, now you got a fish that you might have to release that's got a hook in its throat, and you can't really get it out without killing the fish. So this is a very humane way to practice catch and release, or catch and keep, because personally, if I catch steelhead, I'm going to be trying to keep them for eating. So anyways, that's the other little giveaway unboxing that I did. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to tilt this over and shut this off. So like, share, and subscribe, comment, and I'll see you on the next one.